Hello and welcome to day 5 of our May Art Challenge. Today I'll be using two brushes, a number 8 and a number 2. And the number 8 I'll just be using for splatter at the beginning of our painting. For our colors today, I'll be using scarlet for the petals of the flower, cadmium yellow medium for the middle portion of the flower, and then for our green, I'm actually going to use the same green that's in my palette already from yesterday's tree paintings. And apologies I didn't tell you those colors, but I'm using a mixture of coal black and cadmium yellow medium to achieve that olive green, and it can be darker or lighter depending on how much water you use. And just giving you a look at my palette here, this is my scarlet red. I've got plenty of water in there. You can see it's very watery, and I'm just loading my brush up and I'm going to splatter my paper. Just going to tap my brush and let the splatters fall wherever they'd like to fall. And just going to load my brush up a little bit more and do some final splatters here. Just keeping it fun and whimsical today. And while these splatters are still wet, I'm going to come in with my number 2 brush now, and I'm going to just make these splatters into some of my flowers. And I'm doing 5 petals for each of my flowers. I'm not saying these are any particular type of flower, so I'm just picking 5 petals because that feels good to me today. If you want to do 4 or 6 or a mixture of all of the above, you can do that too. So just doing 5 petals, I'm trying to leave a white space in the center. If you end up coloring that in, not a big deal. And you can see those 2 flowers are not the same value of the scarlet that I'm using because there's more or less water or more or less color depending on the size of the splatter, and that's okay. Little variation is good. In fact, if you want a lot of variation, you could do all different kinds of flowers for this bouquet, but I'm going to just keep it all very simple, and I just love this pink. Just cheerful to me and just kind of delicate, and I don't know, just feels good. And if they end up drying too light for my liking, then I will just add a second layer once they're dry. And you can make your bouquet as big or as small as you would like. You know, some of these splatters in the background kind of act as a little bit of a filler, and again, it keeps it lighthearted and just kind of takes the pressure off. Okay, I'm leaving this just as the base of my bouquet. It's all dry now, and I'm going to come in with my olive green mixture and going to paint in some stems. And I'm going to have it be very light to the touch. I just want them to be delicate stems and just bring them all down, gathered at the bottom. And you can see if you, like right here, if I did the line, the stem right there, it would be really straight. But if I move it over here, it's going to be kind of a droopy, but not droopy sad, just kind of, hanging out and bringing in all of our stems. Now, gathering down here because I am going to make a little bow or ribbon tying them together, and it's just nice if they're gathered there. And for these 2 flowers at the top, we'll just draw a line for the stem and then go right under that center flower and then bring that stem on down. Now I'm going to paint some leaves in. Again, these are not any specific flowers, so I get to choose whatever shape I want the leaves to be. And they don't all have to be uniform, as you can see. We are painting loosely here, just having fun today. I feel like this is kind of a quick win, kind of a painting, because we're not going off of a reference photo. It's just whatever feels fun and cheerful or whatever mood you're going for. Just adding little leaves here and there, filling in our bouquet a little bit. And once you get as many leaves as you want, you can just kind of take a step back, see if you want to fill in anything else. I'm going to just kind of add some little fancy foliage. I don't know what it is. I'm just using the same olive green for this, kind of just adding another little wispy stem, and then I'm just painting little dots in there. You could make this purple if you want, because that would resemble lavender maybe. Just use your imagination. I'm obviously just keeping mine to these couple colors today, and that feels good to me. This could make a super cute greeting card if you made it a little bit bigger, or you could just tape this little one onto some cardstock, or even throw it into a cute little miniature frame, whatever you would like. Okay, that is all dry, and now I'm going to paint in a little ribbon. I'm just keeping very light to the touch here, and I'm just doing a delicate little ribbon here. Very simple. I'm using the same scarlet red, but I've got less water on the brush, more color, so it looks darker than our petals. And now I've got my cadmium yellow medium to paint in the center of the flowers. You could leave them white, you could make them green, you could do whatever you want. And now, if this yellow dries too lightly, you just wait for it to dry and you add another layer to darken it up. It doesn't make that much of a difference. In fact, it was fine the way it was, but I decided to add one more layer of yellow to make it pop just a little bit more and let that completely dry. I'm going to come in with a size 5 micron. You could use whatever pen you've got at this point because we're not adding any more watercolor, but I'm going to show you regular speed at first, and then I'm going to speed you up because you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just scribbling lines. This is regular speed, not thinking about this too much, just drawing in some lines. And I'm zooming you in here, speeding it up because you can just see scribble, scribble, scribble. I'm outlining the flowers, but not trying to be too precious about it, leaving plenty of white, just adding black dots on those fancy foliage. And you can see what I did there. It just adds a nice little touch, I think. I love adding pen detail. You know that if you've been around here for any time. And there is our sweet little bouquet of flowers. Let me know if you give it a try. Let me know if you're going to make a card out of it or if you're going to frame it and give it as a gift for somebody or put it in your own house. Okay, if you'd like to join us on this May Art Challenge, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the future videos. See you for day 6 tomorrow.